So tomorrow we are both very excited. Erin Knightley here of Learning to Ride authorship, and
Jen McLaughlin of the MCCULLAGH in Maine.
And we're super excited because tomorrow morning, aka today, if you're watching the video,
Yes,
these finally come out, and oh my gosh, have we not just been dying? I mean, is this the coolest thing you've ever been a part of?
Yeah, I think it's pretty high up there. I mean, I don't think that I could compare anything else, quite frankly. Maybe the birth of my children, maybe.
I have to say, it's been wicked cool. And the really fun part is that, you know, I have a neighbor that has known that I've been a writer for 6 years. I mean, they know I have these books out. They know when I hit USA Today. They've seen me in the newspaper. But it was so funny when I was like, oh, I had this really cool thing happening. You know, I've been working with James Patterson. And he just went, James Patterson! And he's like, hold on, let me go get Pam, you know.
Yeah.
Like, suddenly, it's just such a recognizable name. He's a favorite author of mine all these years. I've read him for years, especially audiobooks. Because I used to go, whenever I traveled, I loved to watch it. But it's just really cool to be working with somebody who is just such an amazing author.
Oh, absolutely. All the stuff he does for the reading world. I mean,
Yes.
libraries, children, reading. I mean, it's amazing. But I had the same thing. I've been writing for a long time, obviously.
Yes.
And my father put this book cover on his phone. It was the first book cover that ever made his phone. So I was like, I made it.
Oh, that's so fun.
And
That is
it replaced
adorable,
my
too.
children, so.
Oh, no. Poor connection. Well, I can still hear you. So I will entertain as we let it reset itself. Or actually, I'll probably... There we go. Huh, hello. Beautiful face, smiling back. Each of us with our fresh lipstick, since we didn't want to be seen in our pajamas without lipstick.
Of course not.
So what was your your favorite part about writing this book?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say that my favorite part, almost always, and especially in is the first kiss. And there's just something magical, especially when you build up to it. But like in this case in particular, Chelsea and Jeremy, they have such history.
Jeremy
so to be
Holland.
able to take that history, and turn it into that moment where they've been reunited and like everything just kind of explodes. I love it. So I'm going to read a paragraph from it because I love it so much. This is the first kiss in the book. It says, the second our lips touched, I knew I'd made a big mistake. Huge. It came second only to running to Miami to chase after a new life. And look where that had gotten me. He gripped my shirt at the small of my back, taking over the kiss without any hesitation. His lips moved over mine, claiming me, and he moved my body so I was trapped between him and the dirty wall. There was no escape, which was the first thing I should have been focused on, but instead, all I could think was more. More tongue, more hands, more heat, more everything.
Oh, yes.
How about
And I feel very fortunate because I got to read your book before anyone else out there. And it was so good. I loved it all.
Perks of the job.
Yes, very much so. I mean, you feel like you're in the know and you can be like, oh, I read it first.
I read it already. So what was your favorite part?
Well, you know, I'm an historical romance author mainly, so I've written like 13 other books.
That. I love your historical romance.
And that's all I've ever written. And for me, writing cowboys, modern day cowboys, was totally different, but really awesome because if you can't tell from the way I speak, I am a Southern girl through and through. And it was really nice to be able to finally speak in my natural voice. I'll read a little section out of here that is not something that I would really be able to write in a Regency set historical with lords and ladies where she'd never been a fan of Texan accents, but damn if his words weren't practically a caress. His voice was deep and clear, and the way he spoke made her think of warm honey and hot summer nights.
Yes.
It's just more fun to...
I want to go there right now.
It's just really fun to be able to think in my own world and not have to say the famous thing between all of my Regency author friends are, we'll text each other or whatever and be like, what's a Regency term for, you know, whatever the modern equivalent is, and it was freeing.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. What's the Regency term for do me fast?
Exactly. I mean, that's hard to think of. You would not believe some of the things we have tried to come up with for.
I can imagine.
So how is it that you came to do this project at all? Because in case anybody out there doesn't know this, we were all in secret isolation. Like, none of us knew who the other authors were, and we couldn't even tell our families. And that moment when we discovered who the other authors were was amazing. So how did you come into this project?
It was even more amazing because we know each other, in case you guys didn't know that.
I still have the text from you that randomly was just, OMG.
It's you. But the way I came about it was that my editor for my Penguin books is now with Little Brown working on these little books right here.
Laura.
And she contacted Laura.
Okay.
Laura Fazio. And she contacted my agent and asked if I'd be interested in writing a book for James Patterson's new imprint. And I was like, oh, hells yeah.
Let me
Because not only do I love
yes.
Laura, but, it's James Patterson as well. So, I mean, it's a double win for me. So, I was very happy to get that phone call.
That's so cool.
How about you?
Well, it's come about it very differently. My sister is a screenwriter, Kara Holden, and she actually was one of the writers on James Patterson's new movie coming out in October, which is Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life. So she just, as one does, happened to randomly during a meeting, she randomly mentioned that her sister is a romance author. And the guy, Patterson's guy was like, wait, what? You're what? So
let us talk about this.
have your people get in touch with our people. So it was really cool that we could kind of come about it that way, because even though you couldn't tell anyone, I could talk about it with my sister.
Lucky.
But really, the cool thing, I work with Penguin as well, and Laura and I know each other from there. She worked with my editor, Carrie, there, so she was familiar with my work, and it was really nice because I submitted a sample, and it just happened to work exactly right at the exact right time.
Yes. I did the sample thing too. I had to do the sample as well. So
and it was a wonderful experience. I don't know about for you, but I loved it.
I loved it. I actually really enjoy writing these books and this length and putting all that story into one shorter book. Like, I loved it. It's a great challenge. I want to say it was like refreshing. I actually really enjoyed it. So
I felt that I learned a lot in this project because Patterson and our editor really pushed us to get to the meat of the story and to stay away from anything that would slow it down. So I admit I like to go off on my tangents.
So do I.
So it really helped me to focus and make sure that every word was moving that plot along. Yeah. And I appreciate how much they made me really engage in that and think about it as I was writing.
Yes, it was a challenge because you can't go on for as long as you would about the curve of his jaw and the dimple in his chin.
Well, we all love that curve.
You just have to say, hard jaw, dimple chin, you can't get poetic about it.
Yeah.
Gotta save room. But it was a challenge in a refreshing, fun way. Like, I feel like I got so much out of it. Sure.
That's awesome. I mean, it's when you've been in the business for a while, it's really fun to do something that's stretching our wings and being outside of our own boxes.
Absolutely. I agree.
So do you have, cupcakes in mind for tomorrow? What are we doing?
I'm going to go, I'll do my tradition of going to Barnes & Noble, maybe Target, seeing if it's there, because I know they had the other BookShots there. So
I didn't know that.
They did. I saw
now
them.
I'm excited.
So
it better be there, otherwise you'll have let me down.
So we'll find out, but I like to go see them on the shelf just because it's fun and corny, I know, but I like to see them sitting there. So.
It's still, I've, like I said, so many books in, and there's still something so magical about that moment of going in and being like, holy crap, I wrote that.
Because it's been our dream for so long, you can just see it sitting there, and to see your name with James Patterson, I mean, that's a dream I never thought even of having, so it's pretty amazing.
It's funny, every Tuesday I volunteer at a retirement facility, And it's so interesting because books are released on Tuesdays. So whenever I have a release, I always go in and celebrate with my old folks, I call them.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
But it's
awesome.
so fun because I come in and I'm like, it's today! And they're all like, that's so nice, honey.
That's awesome.
So I will do
mine
that
won't be
tomorrow.
nearly that exciting. I'll go look to the store. Then my son has guitar at night, so that's about it.
Well, yeah, then after that I have to do grocery shopping. My once a week, I live in the middle of nowhere, so if I'm going to town, I'm doing my stuff. So I always do grocery shopping.
Same. I live in the middle of nowhere.
But I'll
too.
be at Walmart, so I will totally be like, show me the book. Okay, if I could do this.
We have to go look, and we'll have to look in Target, maybe Walmart, Barnes & Noble. You never know.
I just am totally looking forward to everybody reading them. I think that the cool thing is you can read them so fast that we'll be hearing from people, I hope, right away.
You can literally read them both in one day.
As you should, because they're totally different. Now, they're totally different because mine is the cowboy, the former rodeo star with the New York lady coming down, and yours is completely different than that.
Mine, though, it's got a nice picturesque inn on the front, as you'll see. Mm-hmm. Involves a woman on the run for her life.
Yes. It's actually quite intense.
To this inn.
But you could really, I love the cover because you really could picture where they were.
Yes.
And that it was an important place for her.
Yeah, and it really, is what I pictured in my mind. So when I saw the cover, I was like, it's perfect. Because it was the inn that I had in my mind when I was writing it. So they did a really good job at that.
Amazing. I will say, hopefully I won't get in trouble for revealing this, but no. When I wrote the book, when they showed me the cover, they said, okay, actually before the cover came out, they said, you're going to need to give him a beard. I was like, okay. And the hilarious thing is, I've actually never felt a beard in my life. I know, can you believe it, after the way beards have totally exploded, I should say, around here. But I was just like, I don't know, is it soft? Is it scratchy?
Is it hard out?
You know what? It just is. My husband teased, well, you can say the first time they met he had a beard, and then the next day he shaved it off.
There you go.
But no, I worked it in because he is quite a good-looking man with his beard there. And I kind of switched it in my mind that he looks like kind of a Chris Evans with the beard, and Lord, does he know how to wear that.
I love Chris Evans with a beard. Don't get me started. We'll be on here for 10 hours.
Well, I'm so excited that we could chat, and yay for us being able to share this amazing day together, and I cannot wait to see how things go, and I can't wait to hear you readers let us know what you think. And you don't have to tell us we're dorks, because we already know that.
Yes, we want to hear all about BookShots.
And I'm going to end on that right now. Well, the wait is over, guys. Head on out and pick up one or both of these wherever books are sold. We hope you love them as much as we loved writing them. And as always, happy reading, y'all.